That is why he spells his name with the C. We have Chelsea Trella here, our guest host for this episode. And you have some experience hosting, which is why I picked you to be this week's guest host, because you hosted, when you were at Southern, a radio show.
A radio show.
Not all of them, a radio show.
It wasn't even the top 5 radio shows.
I like to think it was. In my opinion, it was the number one.
You're too kind.
Chi-Ray in the Morning, I believe it was.
Chi-Ray in the Morning. It was Mondays at 3 p.m.
Mondays at 3 p.m. Chi-Ray in the Morning.
Well, 3 p.m. was my morning, so.
Yeah, it's my morning too, honestly.
Yeah.
Basically from like noon to 5 p.m. might as well be morning for me. And then anything before like 7 a.m. is still night.
Yeah.
And then 7 to 12 is like no man's land. That's like
well, like if I have an appointment or something to do and it's at like 6:30, I'm just not going to bed.
It's true.
You just stay up, do it, and then come home and go to sleep.
That's easier sometimes. So
Way
that's easier
easier.
sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so how was the radio show when you were there?
It was fun. I tried to make each episode a theme. So like I had an excitement theme. I forget some of them, but the one that I loved I was most proud of was my death and dying theme. And so I would have some fun songs, like I played, of course, Black Parade from MCR. And I also would have songs like a segment called Why Does This Song Exist? And so for Death and Dying, I played Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road.
It's a classic.
I was like, why is this a song? Classic song, but it belongs here. And then one of my other favorite bits is I would have Spencer, back when he was a young Spencito Burrito, do a segment on why things were not his fault, and that segment was on how you buried the 2-year dead Franco in Grandma's backyard.
Yep, I did.
Yes, so that was a good episode.
I think it's worth mentioning that up until that 2 years before I buried it, it was sitting in our grandmother's freezer, basement freezer too. Not even. I guess it's better than like the normal freezer, but it added a step of creepiness because usually it'd be like a holiday or something special. She'd be like, oh, go in the basement freezer and get the pie or the cake or something. And you'd go down there to grab the cake and there'd just be it's in a Ziploc baggie. There's a Ziploc baggie with a dead cockatoo in it.
And you might think it was cremated, but it was just the bird. But it was in good company, because I'm pretty sure, wasn't there like another dead pet in there too?
Well, we had several dead animals, but I think the bird was the only one that they refrigerated because the others were ashes.
That's true.
Like we had ashes.
Yes.
I think we had 2 dogs' ashes and maybe 1 cat going, where we just had the 3 of them, all needed to be buried. We just had them sitting there waiting.
But here's the thing. You had to bury it at Grandma's, because if you buried the pet at Grandma's, every Halloween it rose as a half whatever animal it was, half chupacabra.
Yeah.
So, we really were giving them life at that point. So it was important to bury them in Grandma's backyard.
Right. It got a little messy with some of the hamsters that came back as half chupacabra. And
they're really just not great chupacabras.
Right. Well, because I thought it would like splice their genes, so they would maybe just be like have small ears or something. But it was like half, like the front half of a hamster, the back half of a chupacabra, and it didn't scale the size. So it went it started small, and then it would get really. We can't see my hand, but it started small, and then it would get really big at the back end, and it was a whole mess. With those. It was a whole mess, and then I almost felt bad. Luckily, when Halloween's over, they die and go back into the earth, but.
It is only one night of cursed existence.
It was awful, and
in hindsight, not the best.
Yeah, the noises they made haunt me still.
Yeah. I did have a little glow-in-the-dark Pikachu doll that I got from McDonald's, and he would come in and be my MC a little bit, my buddy.
But the people watching or listening to the radio show didn't have
see.
Anything with the Pikachu thing, though.
Nope, he just was there for me.
That was just for you. Okay.
It felt like I was talking to someone because I knew there were no listeners, so I was talking to the Pikachu.
It's kind of like the show.
Yeah. It was great because, I'd be like, Pikachu, we're playing another song. And he'd be like, Pika Pika. And I'd be like, great.
All right. Well, Chelsea, our guest host this week, so stay tuned, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, great.
Oh, yeah. By the way, this is
your expectations low, I'll keep your spirits high. I don't have a lot of time, but what I got is fine. If you watch for a second, I'll tell you a joke. If you stay for a while, I might even smoke. Might not be as good as what I did before, but here we are now, it's the Cup of Don Show.
Hello, I have Paris and Sea Dog Christopher here. They're dating, so she's my cousin, I should say. She's my cousin, and then this is her boyfriend, and he comes up here too. And then that is a spider, unrelated to me. But anyway, they are both the guest camera operators for this episode. So they are, when one's busy, the other one steps in and does it, so they sort of take turns.
We're a tag team.
Yeah, tag team, camera operators. Anyway, so very honored to have them helping me out this week. And, we really only see you during this 1 week of the year, during when we come up here. So what do you do the other, 358 days I don't see you? Like, what do you do the rest of the year?
For a second, I thought you did your math wrong, but that's embarrassing.
My math is right. My math is right.
I am going to school. Both of us live in California. I transferred from a community college to California State University of Northridge, and I'll be doing technical theater there. Probably makeup and costume stuff, but I'm interested in dramaturgy.
Interesting. So maybe I should have had you do the makeup for this episode instead of camera operating. You're doing a good job of those so far. Well, that's interesting. So dramaturgy, that's a big word. Why don't you tell the people what that means?
So it's kind of like a historical consultant in a way. They kind of like study the text of the play or musical or whatever, and make sure that the playwright's intentions come across.
Yeah. We had a dramaturg at Southern, the college I went to, who is a student who did it, and he loved dramaturgy, and he was a dramaturg for like every single play, and he was sort of iconic. That was, we love Cameron. He was awesome. He always knew, the history behind the plays. He would always help us with stuff, and he would just talk on and on and on about the history of plays. So if you ask him a question, he'll just,
I'm a chatterbox, so that's why
maybe that
appeals to me.
Yeah, maybe that's like a dramaturg
That's literally
thing.
why it appeals to me.
And then, speaking of things that appeal to you, Sea Dog, what do you do the 300, whatever I said, days?
Yeah.
58.
Can't do the math
Of
again.
course. Yeah, so right now I'm working at a pet food store down in California. Basically, I've been there for about a year and a half.
You say downtown California?
Down in California.
Oh, down in California.
Because we're up
Okay,
north right
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. It's a very fun job, but also have to know a whole lot of stuff about, like, not just like
Dog
dog food, but like pretty much the lifestyle of dogs and cats.
Is this
And
dogs and cats?
Mostly, yeah. There is
So, like, if I had a turtle
I
and I came to your store and I was like, hey, I got this turtle. I found it outside. I have no idea what to feed it.
we would be like, oh, we do have a section for like a little bit of their food, but otherwise there is a store actually right down the way that usually takes care of like small reptiles and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't want to sell anything like that just because, we'd be competing with next door basically.
Ah, gotcha. Because they don't sell dog and cat food.
Right.
Okay, and then I come back, I leave, and and then I come back like 45 minutes later, and I say, hey, and I'm holding a parakeet, and I say, hey, I found this parakeet outside. Do you guys sell food for this here? I have no idea what to feed it. I just caught it.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a whole section
I have
right
birds.
this way, and then I would just walk you right to the back and show you where the bird and small animal stuff is.
Okay. You really had an answer for me there. That's good. You're a good worker. A lot of people. I was trying to stop him a little bit. I work at Target, and I think if I asked people hard-hitting questions like that, they would just freeze up and be like, "Let me call someone." I don't know. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, being in our specific city, we do get a lot of people that asked for, or not every single
That catch
one.
animals and
Yeah.
go in.
It's like we've had people come in for chicken stuff. We don't carry any of that. Horse stuff, I'm like, sorry, that's the next town over. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But
Yeah,
they
you
have a
could-
horse, so they could ride over there. That's
Yeah.
not much for them.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it down.
Me
the
with my
freeway.
turtle, that would be a long
would take a
ride
real-
if
that would
I
take a
had to
while.
go on off of turtle power there.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for being on the show. That's it. That's all the time we have. We have to go to the next person. But thank you, Paris
I'm
and
disappointed the
and
spider
Sea
didn't
Dog.
have anything to say.
Yeah, the spider didn't do much. It's just sitting there. It's alive, I think.
Probably.
Oh,
there he goes.
it curled up a little bit. Yeah, it's alive. It's just shy, I
He's
guess.
biding his time.
Okay, zoom in on that. All right, here, I'll take that. Thank you.
Like, I look like I'm like a tiny person.
No, go ahead. Yeah, no, sit down. You're good, dude. You're good.
I feel like I really look like I'm really
No,
small.
you're like-
I'm taller than you.
You're like a little gnome. You're like a gnome.
I
dude.
am
You're
taller
like a-
than you.
You're like awesome. Get gnomed. You know about that? You know, get gnomed. You just got
Is this
gnomed.
all getting filmed? Is this going
Yep.
in? I feel like I look stupid doing that.
You do look
I feel
stupid.
like
You
that
are.
was-
This is Charlie Hughes. He's actually.
Sorry, I
the-
can't hear you. You got to speak towards me.
That's not really an option.
Oh,
Well, I'm talking
This is
to
gonna be
them
a
right
rough
now too.
interview.
I'm trying to introduce you. So
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to you. I'll turn this way when I talk to you in a second. Yeah, I keep doing that. He's our he's our guest audio engineer for this week's episode. He's very talented in the way of audio and development and everything. These mics, he actually knew what mics to get. That was his idea. So Charlie, thanks for being on the show. Now
yeah.
we've seen you as the homeless judge. It's a
Oh, yes, the
fan
homeless
favorite character
judge.
on the
I
show.
was also that guy who kept messing with your tie. Who
Um,
you picked up, who you like brought me in because you were like
Yes.
pretending to be Ice or something.
I was
and you
not
thought-
pretending to be Ice.
And I was just like slightly tan. I don't know why you told me to do it. You said you're the closest person I know to being a minority, so you got to play it.
Clarify. This is
I'm
episode
just
3.
like slightly tanner than you, and
That
that's
was-
I guess the only
That
reason
was
why.
in episode 3, and the bit was that he was jaywalking. And
I don't
that
remember that.
was trying to give him a ticket for
I don't
jaywalking.
remember
And you were
that.
playing with my tie, actually. It was very distracting. It
Yeah.
was sort of an acting challenge for me to not break because it was very
Yeah.
distracting. You constantly.
I think I broke a couple
pulling
times.
at me. You did. But I did too. It was funny. That's the
But
thing
also,
with
it was
improv.
just weird. It was just weird because you were still just trying to be Ice. You kept
I
telling
wasn't
me like
Ice.
I'm an
I
Ice
really
agent.
wish you would,
I'm an Ice agent.
Not say those things about me.
that
'cause
was
that's very
and you said you're pro
controversial. I
Ice.
was
You
not-
said you're pro Ice.
I wasn't.
You said you like the immigration whatever.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. Though. Now this isn't. That whole thing was a bit, but Jack was saying that he said the immigration process works perfectly because I kept saying I was like, no, I think we need to revamp it, and he was like, why? What's wrong with it? Like
Oh,
Jack kept
yes,
saying, he was
yes.
like, no, it works fine. That's
Yes, and he was talking about specifically how he liked the cages.
yeah,
he was.
Yeah, well, he was like it should take. He was like I think he was like if anything we should make it take longer and more expensive to
Yeah.
get in here
Yeah.
because he.
Yes, that's what it is. You're pro deportations. Jack is pro the current immigration system.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, you are pro deportations.
I wouldn't.
You are pro caring
That's
family. You're pro
no.
Ice. Yeah,
for-
just like my ex-wife.
Charlie Cusack's everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be here all night.
All right, so I'm here with Alex. He's the guest composer for this week's episode. We're honored to have him. So all the soundtrack music you hear, other than the intro and the outro that are the same in every episode, all the other music that you hear, this guy, he writes it.
That's right.
And and this isn't new for him. All right, this isn't just like I plucked him out and made him do this. He does that for money, like professionally.
That's right.
Professional musician right here, Alex. Yeah, right?
Oh yeah.
So what sorry, we're sort of under siege here. What sort of music do you enjoy making the most?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Like what genre?
You know, I really enjoy making, to be honest, horror music.
Yeah.
I like doing like thriller,
Ooh, okay.
because there's a lot of fireworks going on right now. But I like making horror music because you can kind of be a little fun with the chords and the scales.
It'll be like
and-
minor chords and stuff. And,
or maybe even not minor, maybe even just what even is this? It's all like,
just like random stuff.
a lot of intervals that clash,
Uh-huh.
and you can be creative with the instruments and the techniques they use. So I really do like making thriller or horror stuff. I think it's just kind of funny. You can't really mess it up. But,
Yeah. Yeah, because if it's a mistake and people are like, "Oh, this sounds weird," it just adds to the feeling you're trying to elicit of like uneasiness.
That's true. And if it does sound like a mistake, it might mean it's actual music.
Right.
So you're doing something
Exactly.
right and wrong, I guess, at the same time.
Yeah. And you and just for I know this, but just for the audience, you like video game music, right? Isn't that like your?
do.
That's like
Oh,
your
yeah.
goal is to do video game sound like.
That's
scores. What's your favorite video game score, or is that like a too hard of a question?
No, I
have
think
a
that's a
number
great
one?
question. I don't know if I have a number one, but I definitely have some influences where, I mean, I grew up playing Halo, so you
That's
know
a good one.
the Halo.
We've all been in a men's bathroom, I
it's,
think.
it's so good.
We've been in a men's restroom.
I
in our
also
days.
I grew up playing Kingdom Hearts, so that soundtrack is so
another good
good.
one.
It was also probably during a phase when that music in that game spoke to me.
Yes.
But the music's really, really well written. So I think those two games are a big
Yeah.
inspiration.
I started Kingdom Hearts. Well, I watched my sister play a lot of the games, and then personally, I recently bought the full collection that they did for like PS4, so I could play it. Because I like Sora and Smash, and I like the idea of Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, I'll probably like this game. So I got it, and I played. I started on the first game, and I got right before you leave the island at the start. And I haven't touched it since. I played one very long session to go through like the beginning. I explored every inch of that island. And then, because I really wanted to get the full game. So I went through the entire island, every single inch, I explored it. And then I was like, all right, time to leave the island. But it was like 7 a.m, so I was like, I need to go to sleep. So I just left the game.
Yeah, that's the big moment. That's when the darkness comes.
Yeah. See, like I don't even like the darkness. I don't even know. It's all sunshine and you're with your friends and you're about to go on this big adventure.
That's when the music gets good.
Yeah. But also, isn't it like Disney music in there?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really pay attention too much to the Disney music. It's all the other music that's kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
The
Like
Dis-
the stuff spliced in with
Yeah,
the Disney
yeah.
music.
The arrangements are cool from the Disney tracks, and how they make it like seamlessly flow and loop is really well done. But the music that was written outside of the Disney soundtrack was really cool.
Yeah. And what's your favorite Disney like musical? Like what Disney movie do you think
Ooh.
has the best music in it?
Oh, that's a great question. I really like Tangled. I really like
That is
Tangled.
not one I would have guessed, but
I like that movie.
I
a
like
lot.
Tangled. I don't even know if I can remember. I think maybe like the song she sings like in the tavern or whatever. I can maybe remember
Yeah.
that one.
It's a fun musical. I don't, there's some really cool stuff. Like I love songs from Hercules.
Hercules
I
is
love-
good, yeah.
Oh, like that Little Mermaid song, and I love whatever the other song is.
What do you mean that little? There's a whole musical. You mean like her song?
Yeah,
Part of that
yeah,
world.
yeah.
Okay.
I think the ending's really nice. And
Well,
some,
because you say that Little Mermaid song to me, I think of Chef Louis. I think Les Poissons because that's a song I sang when I was Chef Louis. To me, that is the Little Mermaid song is Les Poissons.
but I mean, there's so many songs, but I think Tangled is that's a big fun one.
All right. Well, Alex isn't related to me, but he might as well be. Alex, why don't you say your catchphrase and then we'll let the fireworks have it.
My catchphrase, I don't know what that means. My name's Alex. People call me Alex Line. I compose music. I'm a great friend to Spencer.
That's a long catchphrase. Well, we're here. I'm very happy to have my grandmom here. And you are actually the guest director this week. So that's great to have you here for that. And you've done a great job so far, I think.
Thank you.
And can I ask you, what is your favorite episode of
that you've seen
Of what?
of the show?
Never
It's your
seen
favorite
it.
episode. Haven't seen it. No, that's okay. That's good. I mean, you saw. I think you finally did watch the last show I did.
Did I?
For Southern. Yeah, I showed you at Christmas. It wasn't very memorable anyway. It's fine.
Remember it.
Well, we're at the tail end of our vacation here
Yes.
at Lake Winnipesaukee, and how did you enjoy your trip this week?
I enjoyed it. I love seeing everybody here.
Yes, it's
The main
nice.
reason I come up is to see everyone.
Right. And we did see, we had a lot of people up here. We missed some people couldn't make it. Did you did what, a lot of reading?
I did some reading. I read my book for the book discussion I have to do, The Woman.
That's
The
good.
Women.
The women.
The women, plural.
It's about just women in general or like a
It's
specific
about women
group?
nurses in Vietnam
Okay.
in the 60s,
Yeah.
1960s.
Does sound interesting. Yeah. I like history, so that does sounds good. And you've been resting up a lot, right? You get to sleep
And
in.
I also was reading a couple J.D. Robb books. She writes mysteries.
Did you figure them out before the end of the book, or were you stumped?
No, but I tend to go to the end and read the end before I finish
What?
the book.
You can't do that.
I,
That's cheating. That's
do.
the point of the book, is you read the book. You find it out little by little.
that is true.
Wow. Yeah, so Jack didn't ruin it, is what you're saying?
Jack didn't ruin it.
He didn't ruin your vacation?
How is Jack going to ruin my vacation?
Well, I just know he can cause trouble sometimes.
No, Jack
he
has
was
been wonderful.
Okay. Well, I'm sure
He
he'll be
wasn't
glad
here
to.
that much anyway. He
No,
was working.
he was only here 2 days, but, you ask some people, I asked people the same question. Some people, they had some other
I'm
answers.
sure no one said Jack did not ruin my vacation.
You didn't? What do you, okay.
I like having
If
Jack
you had to
here.
think of a reason why Jack might have ruined it.
I don't know how he could have ruined it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure that's very good. People will be glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Jack did not cause any trouble for you.
No.
All right. Did anyone cause trouble for you? Was there anyone get in your way?
I would say no one caused trouble for
That's
me.
good. That's good. That's what we like. We try to do here. Make sure Grandmom has a good time. So it's good to hear that we did a good job. All right. Well, it's getting late here, so I think we should go.
Say sayonara.
Yeah. Say sayonara. That's what, Japanese?
Yes.
All right. There you go. Language lesson for this week. Sayonara. Goodbye in Japanese. Okay, we are back with my next guest. Our guest costume designer for this week, Jack the Pickle De Palma, right? That's what he's... Now, you saw Jack a few weeks ago on the show, and he was wearing a pickle costume that he was adamant about. And, we have him back. This is now almost a full month later. I think it is a month later. And he's still doing the pickle thing. I can tell you, me and my whole family can smell that he's still doing the pickle thing, as he has yet to bathe in something that isn't pickle juice, because we discussed this, how he is showering, it's just in pickle juice. And the whole house reeks. We all live in one house, for the vacation, and it reeks. And so my main question for you is sort of, what do you have to say for yourself in this pickle form? What have you been enlightened yet, or anything?
I feel the path of the pickle has brought me to places yet unreached by most human minds.
Okay. So that's concerning there, because perhaps they're bad places, and that's why we haven't gone there yet, and that this has just led you
down this terrible, path that you are like. What sort of things have you learned? What wisdoms have you figured out from all this?
You can get pickle making down to a science if you're really careful. So, depending on the amount of time and vinegar it spends, and then the amount of exposure to oxygen actually that it gets. If you could construct, for example, like a crude vacuum chamber, and immediately after coming out of the vinegar, you can get these pickles to have some really unique flavors, and I feel like I'm delving into quite an untapped art form.
Okay, but I've met pickle farmers. I've had pickles that were very good, and they didn't do all this. They were just like these men who were farmers that had studied this and experimented with it. So like I don't think this is necessary to do that. Like I think you could have gotten to that level of pickling without having to do all of this. I mean, your wife left you, your family, we don't like you, you smell bad, you can't walk down the street, everyone looks at you and stuff, you have all these citations that you haven't paid, you say something about like some pickle currency or something that the law system, like the legal system is not going to accept that to pay fines. Like your whole life is getting pickled, and you have almost nothing to show for. I mean, you talk about this. You haven't offered us any pickles. I haven't,
Pickles don't participate in the system of capitalism.
Okay, and here we go with the political ideology stuff, which I know you said had nothing to do with the pickling, but I feel like it's gotta somewhere. Like maybe that mentality led you to this. Still no, you don't see any correlation still.
I'd say that the exploitation of capitalism can lead people down some very interesting roads in order to cope with the intense pressure that it puts on communities.
Okay.
And I'd say putting further blame on the working class isn't the way to support these people.
Okay. How's the Discord server? How's the community? Has it grown? Has it shrunk? Is it
It's now up to 12 members.
12 members. Okay. 12 members. Great. So awesome. Now there's even more people I need to look out for. I'm sure, but I'll smell them coming, so I don't have to worry too much. Well, Jack, you've been on the show a few times, and hopefully, if you're on again, you will not be in a pickle costume. So, any last words? Any last words for this week's episode?
Through Picality, all will be revealed.
Well, there you have it. All right. I'm in a boat, motherfucker, and I'm here with our guest editor for this week, Griffin.
Good title.
Now, Griffin, I feel bad because last time, during the Griffin episode, I was trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
And your brother, Jack,
he has a real
the
issue.
pickle,
Yeah.
he sidetracked the entire interview. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, here I have another opportunity to talk to you, and yet again, I feel like all I can think about is his darn pickle suit thing, because, I mean, we're outside, we're on the boat, because if we get any closer to the house, all you smell is the brine.
So bad.
And he is just, it's like, I see him and all he talks about is the pickle thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not your whole life. You have, he's in
it's
college and stuff, and
it's become his whole.
it's like that's all he is. Like, he has no personality anymore.
That's how it is.
He's
now.
just this pickle thing, and yeah, it's real bad. And and I'm sorry for you because you're his brother,
Yeah,
and
I feel bad for my parents.
you know,
mainly.
oh, that's your
'Cause,
kid.
I mean, like, I go off to college
yeah,
in like August, but
Uh-huh.
like, that's their. It's my brother, but that's their kid.
right. Like,
And he might be living at home next
oh
year.
no, so that's gonna
it's-
smell.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't go that long. I'm hoping.
I hope not too.
You
but you
know,
know how Jack is. and
Right,
He really like
he's
if he-
persistent,
yeah.
and he is persistent,
Which I can admire in certain aspects.
Right,
But when it comes to like
right.
pickling himself.
sometimes
in
it's a
bag,
good quality. Like when it's sports or schoolwork, you know, it's good that he's perseverant. But
Yeah,
when it's this pickle thing, this cult,
No,
really.
Yeah. It's,
Um,
I heard the Discord server's growing.
I heard he said
that
it's up to
true?
12. He said it's 12 people now, which is just I can't even imagine these poor
Maybe your
people.
your video might have recruited some.
Unfortunately, you know, I think he did say something towards the end of it
Yeah,
that
I
was like a
think he
dog
did.
whistle
Yeah, the
to
first-
Pickles. It was like a
yeah.
pickle whistle, and I think that did make you know, some more people
Yeah. Picklers around the world.
join it. Yeah, and it's
Possible.
really just sad and unfortunate, but
What are we gonna do with them?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like the more you try to stop him, the more he's just going to want to rebel and
yeah,
push him
it
further
can
into
be.
it. So I think the best thing would just be, you know, it's just everyone just sort of take a step back
Yeah.
and
I say we cheer him on.
and sort of
reverse
let him.
psychology.
Yeah, cheering him on might be too strong.
That's true.
Like it might make him think we like it too much. I think if we just all just take a step back, just sort of ignore it, it'll fade out on its own, and maybe the movement itself will sort of dissolve.
And I have one thing to say. I know I called him a terrible person in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I was just upset he's spaghetti that he was in a pickle costume.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. He's a great person.
Yeah.
Terrible pickle. I meant to say terrible pickle.
Right.
Because it's not his person.
No,
It's
not. It's this persona.
I don't know if it's his fault.
It's the
even.
pickle sona that
It's
he
the
has
pickle
become.
sona.
Yeah.
He's not a terrible person.
but
I'm
any-
sorry, Jack. And what's left of Jack in the pickle costume, but I didn't mean it.
So when you edit something, I can't. It's just the pickle. It's just the pickle. All right. Any last
smell
any
it,
any like do you have a catchphrase or anything you want to say? And
No.
no,
Bazinga.
Bazinga.
But
There you go.
that's-
Hey, I know that one.
No way.
I do.
You?
Well, you know, I played a character named Sheldon
No.
in the prom,
Really?
and I would say Bazinga all the time, and it was pretty funny actually. A lot of people thought it was pretty funny, and I would make them break on stage occasionally, because I would say Bazinga.
I'm sure the director loved that.
Yeah. Oh, it was good.
sure
He was good. I would also refer to myself as Schmeldon or Smeldon. I would say Sheldon Smeldon. But yeah. All right, Griffin. Hopefully, next time we see you on the show, you will have a brother who showers normally and isn't a pickle.
I can hope. All right.
All right.
Bye, Jake Paulers.
Bye, Jake Paulers. Well, I was gonna actually end the episode here. So can you just, like always?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like always, I'm Spencer Trella, and this has been